Do you think letting a dog eat inside the house is the safest thing in the world? But the paradox lies here. Often the very harmless habits are the ones causing thousands of indoor dogs to face bloat, kidney failure, and sudden death every year. Have you ever watched your dog eat and told yourself, "It's fine, this is how everyone does it"? If so, you might soon hear something that will startle you. So what is quietly killing dogs who live indoors? And why are veterinarians begging owners to stop immediately? In this video, you'll uncover the most common mistakes that nearly every indoor dog owner makes, yet doesn't notice until it's too late. And in the middle of the video, there's a habit that 90% of owners believe is doing good, but actually kills the fastest. Let's begin, and as you listen, try to note, how many of these deadly mistakes have you unconsciously been making? Section 1. Elevated feeding bowls. You bought an elevated bowl thinking it helps your dog eat more comfortably, right? Sounds logical, but this is one of the most dangerous mistakes veterinarians see in indoor dogs. A study from Purdue University found that dogs eating from elevated bowls have up to 110% higher risk of bloat, a number nobody expects when they look at a seemingly harmless bowl. Bloat isn't just gas, it's when the stomach expands then twists, cutting off blood flow. And from that moment, you only have a few precious hours to save them. With indoor dogs who move little, the risk is even higher because they tend to gulp more air when eating from a higher bowl. Many owners only realize when their dog suddenly stands up, their belly bulges, they pant, struggle to vomit but can't. By then, things are already very bad. What's unfortunate is most of them say, "I thought the elevated bowl was better." If you're using one of those bowls, now is the time to reconsider. Did you ever think elevated bowls were the better choice? Feel free to share in the comments, and get ready, because the next mistake is even more common. Section 2. Free feeding. Leaving food out all day. Seeing a full bowl all day seems convenient, and you assume the dog will self-regulate. But for indoor dogs, it's one of the fastest routes to obesity, diabetes, and health decline that you don't even realize. Dogs who move little, sleep 16 to 18 hours a day, don't burn enough calories to handle a bowl that's always full. So they eat out of boredom, eat to kill time, then silently gain weight day by day. The scarier part, when food is always available, you lose the ability to recognize warning signs. If one day the dog eats less, you'll never know whether they're tired, in pain, or suffering from kidney disease, liver problems, or even cancer, until it's too late. Many vets say free feeding is like blurring all the body's alert signals. If you have been free feeding because you thought it was more comfortable for the dog, you're not alone. Share how long you've done that, and don't look away, because the next mistake is easier to make, and nearly everyone has done it at least once. Section 3. Feeding only once a day. Many people believe that feeding a dog once a day mimics how their wild ancestors ate. Sounds logical, but for indoor dogs, it is actually one of the most harmful routines. When they must wait 24 hours for the next meal, their stomach is full of acid, intestines contract, and the hunger forces them to gobble food as soon as it's placed down. That speed of inhaling food is a major cause of bloat, a condition that can kill within a few hours. Not only that, letting the body go so long without food causes insulin to spike then crash, creating a vicious cycle, making the dog always anxious, insecure, and always searching for food. For indoor dogs, with little activity and slow rhythm, this impact is even more pronounced. They may vomit yellow fluid in the morning, become irritable, even develop hoarding behavior around food because they fear losing their portion. Many owners didn't know until they switched to 2 smaller meals daily and found the dog calmer, better digestion, and significantly healthier. Have you ever fed your dog once a day? And do you believe that habit really is good for them? Share. And get ready for the next section, because mistake number 4 is one almost everyone makes, sometimes every day. Section 4. Not measuring the portion. Most owners believe they can see how much their dog needs. Then day after day, the bowl is topped off a little more, until the indoor dog starts gaining weight and you don't understand why. The truth is, just pouring food by eye, you've likely overfed your dog by 30–50% of their real need. And for a dog that moves little, lives inside all day, that excess calories quickly turn into fat, then disease. What vets worry about most isn't the dog getting fat, but what comes after. Diabetes, joint inflammation, heart problems, breathing difficulties, even cancer. Sadly, most owners believe, "I'm feeding them correctly." Meanwhile, a 50-pound dog may only need 800 to 1,000 calories a day, much less than what many people pour into the bowl. Even scarier, the dog gains weight so slowly you don't notice until it's too late. Many people only have that shock when the vet says, "If you lose 10 pounds, the dog could live 2 more years." If you too have poured loosely for convenience, you're not alone. Share whether you measure each meal, and don't look away, because the next mistake is something many make right after feeding or before walking their dog. Section 5. Feeding immediately before or after exercise. Many owners think feeding the dog right before a walk gives them energy, or rewarding them with a meal right after returning home shows love. But few know that this is one of the most dangerous moments for the stomach of an indoor dog. When they've just exercised, blood is rushing to muscles, digestion is almost sleeping. If food enters then, it sits in the stomach along with air the dog swallowed while breathing hard, a perfect setup for bloat. There have been many cases of bloat right after an owner did a good thing. "I only fed because it ran so hard." But with a stomach not yet settled, this can cause the dog to writhe in pain within 30 minutes. Bloat does not wait for you to finish reading an article or watching a video. It progresses so fast that even vets say, time is everything. If you have fed your dog close to exercise, don't feel guilty. Many people have done it unknowingly. But try to think, do you like eating right after a run? Or does your body need a few minutes to settle? Dogs are the same, maybe even more sensitive. And in the next section, you'll see a habit that nearly every dog-owning family does. They think it's safe, but it's actually more dangerous than they believe. Section 6. Feeding human food. A leftover piece of meat, a slice of bread, a small chunk of cheese. No one thinks that might be harmful. That's the moment we want to share love with our dog. It looks so cute, I can't deny, but these small pieces that seem harmless are why thousands of dogs are hospitalized every year. Their digestive systems are not made for chocolate, onions, grapes, or fatty food. Just 3 grapes can push a 20-pound dog into acute kidney failure, and a piece of gum with xylitol can cause their liver to fail in a few hours. Even safe foods like fatty meat, butter, or fried snacks can cause pancreatitis, a painful, potentially fatal condition that's expensive to treat. What's sad is that most owners don't know. They're just trying to make the dog happy, trying to let them taste a bit so they feel love. But a dog's body reacts very differently. Have you ever shared food with your dog because its eyes looked so cute? If so, you're not alone. Share your habit, and move on to the next section where one mistake is even quieter, but its consequences might surprise you. Section 7. Leaving wet food out too long. Many busy people place a bowl of wet food in the morning and go to work, thinking the dog will snack during the day. But wet food is like fresh food for bacteria. After 2-4 hours at room temperature, it becomes a bacteria nest invisible to the eye. Salmonella, E. coli, and dozens of other bacteria start to grow fast, and when the dog returns to eat it in the afternoon, what they ingest is no longer a safe meal. Many cases of vomiting, bloody diarrhea, high fever, dehydration, and hospitalization stem from one simple thing: the meal was left out too long. The worst part? Indoor dogs, whose immune systems are less exercised, are much more seriously affected than dogs who spend time outdoors. Some dogs even develop fear of wet food afterwards, refusing to eat even when fresh. If you've ever left out wet food for hours thinking it'll be fine, share that habit. And get ready, because the next section is a mistake almost every indoor dog household makes because they think it's cheap and convenient. Section 8. Feeding only dry kibble. Kibble is convenient, clean, easy to store, undeniable. But what few know is dry food contains only about 10% moisture, while a dog's body is designed to eat food with around 70% moisture. This forces their kidneys and bladder to work much harder just to retain water in the body. For indoor dogs, who move little and tend to drink less, that silent dehydration easily leads to bladder stones, urinary tract infections, and long-term kidney failure. Many owners only detect the issue when the dog begins straining to urinate, peeing blood, or suddenly in pain for no clear reason. The sad fact? It all begins from a very normal habit: topping a bowl of kibble each day. Just adding a little wet food or broth to the meal reduces a lot of risk without completely changing the diet. How long have you been feeding only kibble? And have you tried adding moisture to the food yet? Share. And get ready for the next section, one mistake that nearly everyone makes thinking cheap and convenient. Section 9. Using a plastic bowl. A cheap light plastic bowl seems harmless, but under the microscope, the surface of plastic bowls is full of scratches and grooves where bacteria cling, no matter how well you wash it. The dog eats from that bowl every day, pressing muzzle and mouth against a surface full of bacteria, opening the door to skin infections, pimples around the mouth, even deeper infections. What few know is plastic can also leach chemicals like BPA into food, especially when the bowl is old, scratched, or exposed to heat. These chemicals are linked to endocrine disorders and many health problems. Many vets say simply switching from plastic to stainless steel or ceramic bowls made the pimples around a dog's chin disappear entirely within weeks. No medication, no complex treatment. Which type of bowl do you use for your dog? Think, replacing it costs only a few dollars and could significantly improve their health. And next, we come to a mistake once heavily debated in the dog community in the US. Section 10. Choosing the wrong grain-free food. Many owners pick grain-free food thinking no grains is better, more natural, or less filler. But in recent years, veterinarians have warned that many grain-free food formulas are linked to canine dilated cardiomyopathy, DCM, a condition leading to heart failure and even sudden death. The main reason is that many grain-free formulas replace grains with potatoes, peas, and legumes, ingredients that may interfere with taurine uptake, an amino acid vital for cardiac health. What's sad is most dogs with DCM from grain-free diets show no clear symptoms until it's too late. For indoor dogs, who move little, you're even less likely to notice early signs like tiring quickly or heavy breathing. So unless there is a well-documented medical reason, veterinarians advise choosing traditional grain-inclusive foods. Have you ever fed your dog grain-free because you thought it was the better choice? Share your thoughts, and get ready, because in the following sections, we'll dive into even quieter mistakes, yet they occur in nearly all households with indoor dogs. If you already realize you've made one of these mistakes, don't blame yourself. Nearly all indoor dog owners have inadvertently done things that seem harmless. The most important part is, from today, you know what's helping your dog live longer, healthier, and more peacefully each day. Small changes, changing the bowl, adjusting meal times, adding a little moisture, stopping free feeding, can make a bigger difference than you think. Dogs can't tell you when they're hurting, uncomfortable, or in danger, but you can notice it before it's too late. And now I very much want to hear from you. Which section surprised you the most, and what will you change first for your dog? Share in the comments, because maybe your story will help another dog avoid danger. If you want me to make a video about the warning signs that indoor dog owners usually miss, leave a word, yes. See you in the next video.